Appears we have a quorum, President Deere.
Thank you. We have a quorum of 4 members. And is there any public comment?
Let me check with our board secretary. No public comment here in the room. Check online if there's anyone who would like to make a public comment. Please acknowledge by raising your hand on the platform. Currently, I do not see any hands raised. And so I will take that as no public comment, President Deere.
Thank you. We'll go to item 4. Are there any presentations?
We don't have any presentations scheduled, President Deere, but if I may make a few remarks of my own given the purpose of today's special board meeting, if it pleases the chair.
As long as it's not as long as your last time you did that.
I appreciate that. And it won't be that extensive. So with that, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge Juneteenth. And I was, just want to thank our director, Houston, for sharing this article with me about the city of Hollywood's celebration of Juneteenth, which they acknowledge is also called Emancipation Day, Jubilee Day, Freedom Day, and Black Independence Day, which is recognized on June 19th each year, marking the date with when some of the last enslaved people in the Confederacy were notified of their freedom on June 19th, 1865. Juneteenth is recognized annually to commemorate the ending of slavery in the United States and represents a special day of reflection. Juneteenth is not only a reminder of a painful chapter in American history, but it also serves as an opportunity for people to recommit to combat all forms of modern day slavery, human trafficking, and racial injustice. In June 2021, President Joe Biden signed a bill to recognize Juneteenth as a federal holiday. In June 2020, the city of West Hollywood City Council established Juneteenth as an observed holiday in West Hollywood. In January 2022, the City Council approved direction to initiate steps to recognize Juneteenth as an official city holiday, which will require forthcoming amendments to the city's municipal code. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to you, President Deere. Thank you for allowing me those few remarks.
Thank you. And at the very introductory remarks, you mentioned the city of Hollywood. You meant, of course, West Hollywood. As you continue.
I'm sorry if I didn't say West Hollywood. I certainly meant to say West Hollywood.
Right, because there's no city of Hollywood. Yeah, the Union Army came into Texas and freed the slaves because the slave owners wouldn't tell the slaves that the war was over and the slavery was over. At any rate, let's go on to the action calendar, item 5, which is resolution. Who wants to take that? Again, Mr.
Absolutely. Reed? And so I have our Human Resources Manager, Michelle Green, who's prepared to provide remarks and staff recommendations for this resolution. Michelle.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Good afternoon, President Deere and members of the board. Without going into a lot of background, as our general manager has also explained very well the significance of Juneteenth. Just to reiterate a bit, on June 17th, 2021, President Biden signed legislation establishing Juneteenth as a federal holiday. While the state of California has not yet passed or recognized Juneteenth as a holiday, Assembly Bill 1655 has passed the Assembly and moved to the Senate, proposing the recognition of Juneteenth as a state holiday. Public agencies in the local region have also taken action to declare Juneteenth as a holiday, some of which our general manager has also already noted. But some various examples of those recognition is the city of Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti signed a proclamation on June 6, 2022, making Juneteenth an official city of Los Angeles holiday. The city of Carson just recently passed a board resolution on June 7th, 2022, declaring Juneteenth as a holiday for its city. And the board of directors of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California approved an amendment to their administrative code, also recognizing Juneteenth as a district-wide holiday. And I believe our general manager has already mentioned in June 2020, The West Hollywood City Council established Juneteenth as an observed holiday in West Hollywood. And in January 22, the City Council approved a direction to initiate steps to recognize Juneteenth as an official city holiday, which will require forthcoming amendments to that city's municipal code. And lastly, the Water Replenishment District of Southern California recognized Juneteenth as a district-wide holiday last year in June 2021, as required by its memorandum of understanding to recognize all federal holidays. Attachments A and B, which I believe are noted on packet pages 5 and 6 of your packet, provide the respective list of state and federal holidays. West Basin observes pretty much nearly all of those state and federal holidays, with the exception of Columbus Day, which is recognized as a federal holiday, but not yet recognized or not recognized by the state. The following alternatives are provided for board consideration of recognizing the celebration of Juneteenth. One of which is to take no action and not adopt Juneteenth as an observed holiday. 2 is to adopt Juneteenth as a holiday per resolution number 06-22-1166, which is attachment C of your packet, which is noted on packet page 7. Or lastly, to adopt Juneteenth as a holiday in place of another West Basin holiday. The general manager at this time recommends proceeding with option 2, which is the recommendation to adopt Juneteenth as an observed holiday for West Basin employees. There are various benefits to reviewing the administrative code for items such as this to remain in compliance with federal and California state laws. And further, this particular proposed amendment of the code to add Juneteenth as an observed holiday enhances West Basin's diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and acknowledging the importance of this significant event in American history. So, in terms of a fiscal impact, there are predominantly no fiscal impact. However, West Basin District Holiday Bank for fiscal year 21-22 will be increased by $26,000, and regular labor will then be reduced by an equal amount. So adopting the resolution would also create no obligation with existing service agreements or contracts that we currently have in place. So if the board pleases, if there are no questions, if there are questions, I'm happy to answer those. But if none, I can proceed with noting what the recommendation is for this particular item.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Recommendation.
With the
Read the recommendation.
Okay. Thank you, President Deere. The recommendation is that the board approves, adopts, and authorizes the president to sign resolution number 06-22-1166, a resolution of the Board of Directors of West Basin Municipal Water District, amending resolution number 1-16-1024 as it relates to Part 3, Human Resources of the Administrative Code, adding Juneteenth as an annual paid holiday. And that will conclude my recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Director Gray?
I'd like to make the motion, please.
Sure. The motion made by Director Gray. Who wants a second?
Second, Director Williams here.
Okay, Director Williams makes the second. Any further discussion?
Can I just make a couple of comments, if you don't mind, briefly?
No.
Chair? Thank
Go
you
right
very
ahead.
much. I want to thank Ms. Shell for that report in terms of some of the things that have happened since this Juneteenth became a national holiday. But I also want to thank the general manager for initiating and being very much a part of bringing this item to the agenda. I thank you for that. It's very important, certainly to me, and I think to many folks. It should be important to everyone because it's all about freedom. And so I'm very, very pleased and proud that West Basin is considering this as a board for the employees. I believe that some of the other cities have made it a city holiday, Director Williams can speak to that. I think I saw Carson had made it a city holiday, and I'm certainly going to I encourage my city to do the same thing. So thank you very much, board, for considering this, and thank you to staff and the general manager for your efforts on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you
You're
for that
welcome.
acknowledgement, Director Gray.
This is Director Deere
Mr.
speaking. When I was a youngster, they didn't teach Juneteenth in our history classes here in California, but I learned from the city of Carson because they were having that celebration years ago as a local celebration. So I learned about Juneteenth. Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, who's it? Director Williams?
Well, Williams, Director
Yeah,
Williams.
go ahead. Go ahead, Director.
I'm very happy, excited about this because you have to really understand why this happened, why we weren't, because I consider myself a descendant of the slaves and everything that happened to us then and before and now, it happens to all of us, okay? That they didn't tell us that slavery was over for the same reason why slavery had to end, because it was about the dollars and cents. If slavery hadn't ended, the Europeans coming over at that time that time and going forward would not have had anything to do, because only the rich man owned land, and the rich man was the only one who could vote. But good natured, good, honest, and smart people like Lincoln said that couldn't happen. America would never go anywhere if they didn't have free land and free labor. Remember that in history books? Probably not. But I had a class and called the history of technology, because I was in vocational studies, and that was it. If so. 2 more years of free labor, if you were a rich man, kind of like today, you could fill your pockets with money. So that's why we weren't told we were free, because the man with the money got to make more money off of our backs for 2 more years. And that was building wealth, family wealth. And that's why we're so far behind. It's going to take us forever, if ever, to catch up. So I am so happy that we are celebrating Juneteenth here in the West Basin service area. So thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments?
Sure. This is Director Houston, real quick,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
President. I just want to echo both of my colleagues, what they've said, and just say a couple of things. One is, I think, and Director Williams said it, or no, Director Deere, you said it. We talked about this a couple of years ago here at the board. Most of us were not even taught this history, and only in the last couple of years, even I learned about it. And it's really unfortunate all the way around, but at least we've learned more, and I'm really happy to see that we've got multiple cities and organizations that have already taken this action, let alone, I think, and sadly, I wrote more cities should. I think it's kind of shameful that only a couple in our whole service area have even done anything to acknowledge this. And by the way, it was yesterday, right, at Metropolitan yesterday?
Yes.
So all that being said, you referenced in here that, the United States government already done this. The state of California is looking at it as we speak. And certainly Metropolitan, 2 cities in our service area moving forward. I think we are right where we need to be. We could have potentially done it sooner, but I'm glad we're doing it today. So I'm going to say, we're all trying to deal with the grave injustices that have happened in this country for many, centuries. Yeah, I was gonna say years, but centuries. And we are all learning as we go and trying to do the best we can. But I think this is a huge statement for this district. So I'm definitely going to vote yes today. But I'm glad that this is brought forward. I fully support, my colleagues and our staff. I'm glad to see that this would be a holiday for this agency. And I think, again, we've talked about it before, leading by example, and the agency needs to lead by example. So, so those are everything I have to say right now, but I'm really happy too that this is being brought to our attention and we can take an action. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director. All right, let's call roll on the recommendation, on the motion.
Certainly, President Deere. So we'll start with Director Houston,
Yes.
Director Williams,
Yes.
Director Gray,
Yes.
President Deere.
Yes.
Should I also call Director Alvarez?
He's
No,
absent.
he's absent, so you don't need to call his name.
Okay. So it
So,
sounds like
motion-
it's a unanimous.
All right, well, 4 votes, yes, 4 passes. We'll go on to item 6, information calendar. Any items listed?
I just can't help but just give an applaud to the board for its resolution today. I hope I'm not out of order, President Deere. Okay, and you asked, your question was, the next item, information calendar. We do not have any items for the information calendar.
Is there a closed session item?
Nothing for
We do
closed
not
session.
have it.
All right, are there any director's comments or future agenda items?
I'd just like to make a comment, one comment, and I want
Director
to
Williams?
thank my colleague, Director Houston, for bringing forward the article that indicated that the city of West Hollywood and what they had done. I was a consultant to the city of West Hollywood in the 90s and was the first time ever being in an environment like West Hollywood. And it was like being in someplace else. It was.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yes, a good way. That
That's the
gave you
1990s.
hope. What's that?
You said in the 1990s, not the 1890s.
No, did I say 18?
I don't think you said it.
No,
I think that's
You're
when
easy.
he was
Yeah.
born.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when John Deere was born.
Okay,
But that city was an indication that that hope was still alive, and good things were happening. And here we are today with good things happening. But don't misunderstand. We don't believe the struggle is over.
Mhm.
It is not over. And it was proven with something that happened this weekend in what's the city that was? Well, anyway, it's the guys who were in the U-Haul,
The one in Idaho.
Idaho. Yeah,
Oh,
that is a strong indication that it's not over. The struggle is not over. So thank you very much for that, Director Houston.
Thank you,
Chair.
Director Williams. Director Gray, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quickly, and thank you, Director Houston, for reminding me. I want to thank Director Houston too for bringing forth that article. And West Hollywood, I believe, is a very liberal city, and I'm thankful that they did what they did. So, but I did want to acknowledge Director Houston. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director
Let me,
Gray. If there are no other director comments?
no, I do, before you cut me off. I'll be really
Somebody else?
quick. Yes,
Okay, go
I'll be
ahead.
really quick,
please.
Mr. Chair. No, I just want to say, again, I'm really pleased with the action we've taken today. What I would ask staff to do, and I think we should do, is I think that our staff should send a letter to all of our elected officials in our service area. So the assembly members, the state senators, the Congress, the congressional delegation, the board of supervisors, and on top of that, send it to all the city councils and the mayors and the city managers so that they're aware of the action we've taken. In particular, because if we need to also support that bill in Sacramento, if we need to take an action on that, let's please look at that. in the appropriate committee. But I do think we need to just send a letter to all of our elected delegations, just noting what we have accomplished moving forward, so that they're aware. And the other thing I just want to say on this was, what Director Williams did say, talking about giving people hope, because that's true. We have to always just give people hope. It's really I get pretty down sometimes when I see the news and the things going on right now, on myriad of things, but I really do remember that phrase, you got to give them hope. And so whether it was Harvey Milk who said that, but also Barack Obama said that during his whole campaign, both campaigns, we have to give everybody hope that, we're always trying to make the country better. We're always trying to make our communities better. So thank you, Director Williams, because that statement is not lost on me. I think about everything that we all each have every day to make sure that we continue gaining ground and don't lose it. So anyway, really appreciate that. But if, just one board member, but that would be my recommendation of staff, could send out a letter to all of our electeds noting what we've taken in action.
Yes, I'll, as general manager, work with our board president, Deere, to receive formal direction and to work with staff in that manner, if so directed.
And excuse me, I just like to say this.
Directed. Let's move on this meeting. I've got to go somewhere.
Okay, I just want to say this, that keeping hope alive did not come from me. That came from Jesse Jackson, right? Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just my
Okay.
comment.
Go
I
ahead.
just
Mr.
don't, I don't oppose what Director Houston said. I just wanted to say that in terms of direction. Thank you.
Okay. We're
Okay,
going to adjourn this meeting.
and just, if I may,
Hey,
President
Mr.
Deere, I heard
the
your,
other Do you need direction, Mr. Gray? Mr. Gray? Mr. Reed?
yeah, and I thought I heard you say that I am so directed, and I just wanted to acknowledge that to make sure I'm clear that
No,
you are providing
No.
such direction.
I didn't
you don't
say
want the-
so direct.
Mr. Gray, you don't want that letter to be sent? I don't mind sending the letter.
No, I said I don't oppose. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
I said. I don't oppose. But so I should have said I agree. Maybe that was a better word rather than
Okay.
don't oppose. I agree. Okay.
Okay. So
Good
I
direction.
agree also. Mr.
Okay.
Reed, do you get the message? You will send the letter.
I believe I am so directed, and I will act accordingly.
Great. If there's no further business for this special board meeting, we are adjourned and going to reconvene back to the Finance Committee.
Thank you. All right. Fantastic.
You serving lunch now?